So I went along to, some people might have been aware of it or know of Dan Pena.
Oh shit!
Yeah, the $50 billion man.
No, he's now the $1 trillion man.
Is it? Yeah,
He's
that's
the
right. He's a
$1
$1
trillion
trillion man. So with Peña, and I wish this was a joke, but it was true. Like the 8 days at the Castle seminar in Guthrie Castle, like understand Peña. Peña sold his oil and gas business in the 70s for just under $500 million. That's like almost $2 billion in
I remember
today's money.
reading about like how he played that, and it was one of the mad. I can't even. It was so complex and out there that I couldn't explain it properly. But it was one of the smartest things. I remember reading it and going, "How the fuck did he do that? Like that's crazy." Like I think people forget that. Like just because he's in, like, you know, he mentors people now, and I think he's a non-exec of loads of different bigger brands and companies and stuff, that he didn't do it like. $500 million, mate, in the 70s.
I know.
That must be worth more than $2 billion, surely.
Probably, most likely.
Aye, that's
but
mad.
you know, so it's just crazy to think what the guy's achieved. I mean, talk about, you know, manifesting your goals and dreams. He wanted to own a castle.
Is it true that he doesn't have a driving licence? I get told, because I've seen the photos outside his house. I've never met him, obviously. You've spent time with him. But he's got like the Ferrari, the Lambo, like it's almost like a lineup outside his house. I got told he's got all those cars, but he doesn't have a UK driving licence. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I got told.
Well, he's been chauffeured since he's mid-30s.
So he has all those supercars, doesn't drive them?
No.
They're like ornaments? Or
Some of the supercars is his wife's, yeah.
She young?
Sally, I mean...
Younger than him?
She's younger than him. She's great. Like honestly, got to spend enough time with her as well. And at the Castle seminar, she's great. The two of them are a great couple for sure. And he is very unique and different. You know, he's bold.
Big guys, well, people,
and that's
people
the
always
thing.
say in videos, "Oh, who do you let this small old man?" Mate, he's like built like an NFL linebacker, mate. He's like 6'3", 110 kilo. I mean, seen a photo of him in a kilt, and I was like, "Yo, he's massive, man."
I am tiny standing next to him. There's a picture of me and him, and I'm like, oh my god.
He's like thick, you know that way. He's like he's
do you know that
thick guy, man.
Here's the thing with Peña, right? He's the only person, and I've met some unbelievable people in my life, right? He's the only person that I felt the presence enter into a room, like actually felt
like
it.
he walks in, it's silent. Everybody's like,
So here's the story. This is crazy, right? So first night at the Castle seminar. So we arrive, and you arrive there, and then you go to your room, and you need to dress for the occasion.
Is it like private rooms?
Well, you're in Guthrie Castle, so it's like Guthrie Castle has a whole bunch of rooms as it is anyway,
so,
you know. So we've got a cracking little suite and everything else there, and so we walk down to the evening. You're starting to meet all the other
business people. Is it all entrepreneurs that go?
Oh, okay. So it's slightly different just now because Peña's. So I went to the Castle seminar before Peña became a lot.
Full London Real and
Before
stuff.
London Real and everything else, you know. In fact, the Castle seminar before mine was the one that Brian Rose at London Real attended. You know, so
so he went to that.
You went to the one prior to me.
Why did I say
And then-
interview? Did you hear that? I thought he interviewed him. I said it really weird.
Yeah, but he did.
Fucking odd.
And so anyway, so I went along there, and the other delegates there were great, because I went there being complacent in life and business, knowing that I wanted more, and I went there hoping to get some answers. I didn't really go there to learn more about M&A and buying businesses and all of that kind of stuff, because that's
an
kind of
awakening, probably. You were
I
looking
just thought I need to go and get a little bit of a shake up and see
Kick
what's
up the
possible.
arse.
And I went there, and the first thing is with a whole bunch of the people there is that I realised, shit, I think or thought I was a somebody, yet being in a room with other people who had far much more success, had achieved way more in business. You know, like, there was one guy in there who was one of the first people to get on the whole Virgin Galactic space travel, you know, when they first did it for certain people. Anyway,
he was like one of the passengers.
Yeah, no.
One of the first passengers to
So
go?
he's not yet gone, but
He's on the list.
He's on the list.
Mate, you need to be like a mega for that. Like mega.
You know, and no, listen, there was super successful people in that room, unbelievable. You know, so for me, I realised quite quickly, shit, okay, there's levels to this business and entrepreneurship and everything else. And I remember the first night, so we're all sitting down there, we're all getting a few drinks, and you know, and we're all having a proper conversation. And then my back was where the kind of staircase that comes into the kind of drawing room that we were all at. My back was at against the staircase, and we're all sitting there chatting, and it was like almost instantaneous. He was obviously walking down with his wife Sally, and then boom,
Energy
everybody
just gone.
having proper conversation, laughing, having a conversation. It just went whoosh, silence.
Let me ask, had you seen him physically at this point yet?
Not yet.
So you've just been, the staff have like received you into the house.
Yeah.
You've went, dropped your shit,
this is
got
your
ready,
first,
you're
yeah.
down having a drink or
Yeah.
whatever, just sitting there. So you've not even physically seen the guy yet.
So part of me knew that we were going to be seeing him that evening.
But you didn't.
Yeah.
Did you realise how big he was? Like physically before you went.
Nope. Because it's a misconception when you look at him online or you see
small.
anything else.
Does look
It
small.
does not look like how he truly actually is. So I remember kind of just turning around as the room went silent and saw him walking down. And you know how the way he dresses, right? He's got his whole, pocket clock. He's got his whole three-piece suit and everything else. Like it's just looks $1 million. Like you can tell, and he commands that. And as soon as he walks in, the room was so silent, and he walks up, and then instantly he just starts to offend everybody in the room. Like just throwing all sorts of kind of comments. And the first thing, and I'm wearing a suit that cost me $2,000, right? So
Once you get it from Glasgow?
I got it from New York actually. So when I was over there, so I had a few nice suits there because again, you're
I've got
having
like
to
two
look
and I
the-
never wear them.
I know, I don't wear suits these days either.
Yeah.
But back then, like going there, you had to really look the part. And so I thought I was looking the part, thought it was somebody and everything else. And everyone else is dressing super smart, like for sure. And then his first kind of comment is come in and he's looking around, staring at people, looking at in the eyes. And he just goes like that. Yeah, I can smell the poverty in here. And I'm looking at him going, fucking hell. It's a bit fucking crazy to state that because again, super successful people in there, and I was, making a lot of money at the time as well. But
How much do you
there's
think you were making like a year at that point? Like just so I can
yeah,
understand.
our business was doing just under 2 million a year,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're still making money. So but again, there's levels to it. It's just crazy. So we're still making money. We're still got my portfolio, still involved in some things, but super complacent, right? At the time, so still got a 7-figure income, which I thought at the time was a big deal. Clearly, someone like him, like, are you struggling? Do you need?
Do you want me to send you some money? A light couple million to get you through the winter months.
So it was just nuts. And then that caught, I could smell the poverty in here. And then certain people would pipe up and say certain things, and just a kind of question, he would just like slap people down. And then we all have to go out for dinner. So we're all sitting down for dinner.
And the castle,
And he's so we're just sitting down having dinner, and it was you could hear a pin drop. And he would awkwardly look around and see people, and because he's profiled everybody before you go there, he knows everyone that's there. And you've got the picture of you and everything else. And
I guess it's like an application process.
Yeah. And then he would just throw certain things out. And he was like, oh, there's a Scot in here. Where's a Scot? And I'd be like, oh, here. He'd just look over, just staring. And then I stupidly asked a question about the Scottish referendum back then to take his viewpoint. I think I was just trying to have conversation because for me it was...
Did you really give a fuck about the question?
I really did not give a fuck. But you know what? It was so awkward in the room of silence. You could hear clattering of forks and knives and everything else. And it was just awkward. And I'm like, well, I'm going to just actually try and talk. Oh my God, I got slaughtered for that. It was unbelievable. So the good thing is that as the days go on though, like you can't have people shut up at when they're going for dinner because you go for dinner every night together. You have to be sharp for it. You had to meet down there at certain times. Everything was regimented. Everything in terms of the time that it
going to the army,
starts.
innit? Like,
Yeah,
it's
because his background of being in the army and things.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
shit, I didn't know that.
So it starts, breakfast served at a certain time. Everything runs on point, whether someone's in the room or not. Every break, you name it, the evening meals. And it was long shifts because even though after the evening meal, and as the days go on, he starts to really brutally put people down for not drinking enough, right? I mean, he's just trying to push the boundaries and everything. And
it's a control thing, isn't it?
it's a control thing, yeah. The guy's fucking mental. But then once you're finished for the evening meals, you need to then go and watch a video as a group because it's stuff we're going to be talking about the next day
Okay.
and everything else. It was long days. And I remember going back to a room at the end, and it was me and there was a guy from Miami, Yas, his name was, who owns care homes. And there was this other guy who was a software developer, made a lot of money doing that. And Yas was just going, who the fuck is this man? I'm telling you, if he speaks to me like this, I'll slap it. Like, it was proper, like...
That would be me,
like,
and
like,
then
oh,
I would
yeah.
go to do it, and I would shite myself.
I know, and no one even piped up when they were in the room together with him. But when I got to my room just before I was getting in, I was sitting chatting away to the guys, and like, okay, I'll catch you tomorrow. And I go in there sitting there thinking, what have I even accomplished in life? Like, I felt so low, and also thought, why am I here to sit and take that type of
Get bullied off some
abuse?
old guy.
You know, so I'm second guess myself. I'm going, well, let's see how day one actually goes. So I remember turning up for the start of the event or the seminar, and some of his stories are so freaking wild because he's had such a
Storied life.
storied life. You know, it's nuts from the things he's achieved, accomplished, and remember he made a lot of money and had a lot of success in business when it was real in an industry that's got. Like, he had to drive about in a bulletproof limousines and everything else because of threats of death threats, you name it. Just because the industry is involved in the oil and gas and different places had to travel. It was just nuts listening to all his stories, and you realise that for him and the point that he's trying to get across is that whatever you think is a big goal, it's absolutely nothing, and we place more meaning to it than anyone else. And it's one of the things I left of it is to think a bigger, more importantly, which then led me to do and get involved in bigger things after that. But also when it comes around to making decisions, like, we all think that we're making life or death decisions on a daily basis, yet they're so insignificant in the grand scheme of things. As soon as you go over yourself and realise that what's the worst can happen with the decisions that you make, you just live by it and learn from it. But most people don't move ahead in life or take action because they're overanalyzing things or wondering, like, what if this happens? What if other people think about me? If I do this here, this could happen here. What if I fail at this? It's all this what ifs and panicking and just making a simple decision a lot bigger than it actually needs to
Have
be.
you